University of New Hampshire, USA, and many other corporates across 63 countries. His professional career has been aspiring to many with distincts of leading 150 projects with keen interest in learning and development, strategizing action plans, project management, business extension, and people management. Dr. Amit, a swimmer and cricket player, also showcases a fantastic combination of dedication, consistency, and intelligence. With his qualification as PhD in artificial intelligence and computer science, he also done PhD in data science and analytics. He is Microsoft certified trainer, MBA in international business and leadership and sustainability. He is done B in computer science engineering with several other technology international certification. So once again, I would like to welcome Dr. Amit Andre for this particular webinar. So now I would like to request sir to begin with his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rahul.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So,
very good morning to all of you. I hope everybody is safe in this pandemic and still trying to cope up with challenges which are there in terms of learning, in terms of daily life, daily routine. Yes, as a human being, we have to cope up, and that's where human intelligence starts. Our topic for today will basically talk about artificial intelligence in various streams, in various segments, which in a nutshell can be stated as artificial intelligence for everyone, AI for everyone. This is a buzzword these days. You all might have read multiple articles, you might have seen multiple videos, YouTube, seminars, everything on AI. But do you really know how and what is industry expecting out of growing need of skilled engineers on this platform? The complete artificial industry as on today is expected to rise till 13 trillion US dollars by 2030, and that figure is estimated in 2020. This year, January 2020, it was a report published by McKinsey. According to this report, if the economy is growing to 13 trillion US dollars, we all as an engineers needs to be ready with what kind of skills will be needed and tweaked in the industry on this platform. It is a myth that artificial intelligence can be worked by only computer or IT people. Artificial intelligence, as on date, is working closely in all industries. You talk about retail industry, you talk about travel industry, you talk about mechanical industry, mechatronics, civil, electronics, healthcare, telecom, oil and gas, even agriculture. You name an industry, and that's where there is some presence of artificial intelligence. A lot of value which is created by AI will be out of the software industry. Please note this point. It will have a huge impact irrespective of your domain. It will have a huge impact in every industry in coming days. And we all, as budding engineers, needs to be ready to with the correct direction with which we need to upskill our skills. There is one more aspect of artificial intelligence. It is basically divided into two segments: ANI, which is artificial narrow intelligence, and AGI, which is artificial general intelligence. It is true that artificial intelligence is changing the world and it has done a lot of progress. But in the case of ANI, narrow intelligence, and not in the case of AGI, that is general intelligence. Let's talk and see about these in detail. So, artificial narrow intelligence basically talks about user experience, or I would also say consumer experience, which can be a smart speaker like Alexa or Google Home, or a self driving car, or a speech governed search results in the search engine. Each of these, which make an impact in the daily consumables, comes under artificial narrow intelligence. This will talk about product giving utility to a consumer, to an end user. However, artificial general intelligence, which has not made the progress, I would not say not made the progress, but whose progress is bit slow in the industry, is AGI. We have progressed in robotics, we have progressed in defining machines which will do a heart surgery, but all of that is mechanical. It needs human intervention. So AGI basically talks about automating super intelligent thought process which a human can have, like emotions, probably like robots to think. And all of these is going to happen. However, is a bit slow. There is a lot of research going on in these segments. The rapid progress in ANI has caused people to conclude that there's a lot of progress in AI, which is true, but only in the consumer behavior, only on in the services which needs to be provided to the consumer. This also means that there's a less or slow progress in AGI, which is leading to some irrational fears about world wars or clever robots or evils coming in between. But that's not true. All of these innovations are governed by humans, are governed by engineers, which certainly means that we will need to have correct governing practices which will help in creating and improving the progress in AGI for intelligence. While we talk about AGI, it will certainly take time. But when we say that it's going to take time, it is basically we who will have to work on these. We are the researchers. In coming days, we'll talk about different breakthroughs in the decades of industry in terms of any domain for that matter. So let's come back to the fundamental ask. Yes, AI. Yes, AI is something which Alexa works with. It's built in. Yes, there is an AI into a probably a gate of a bungalow, which is automated, which is sensing, which is having sensors, or an electric bulb, which is also having sensors. Which is these all are different parts of AIs in different domains. It maybe electrical, maybe mechanical, maybe electronics. But how does this work? What is most important idea in AI? What do you need to work? Being students and by researching on Google, you might have heard that machine learning is something which is also growing in the industry or is booming or is a buzzword. Now, how does this work? Is machine learning a part of AI? Yes, which by default means we need to train machines. We need to train machines to cut the grass. We need to train machines to do an operation or heart surgery. We need to train every device on what task needs to be done, which means that we are needed. It also says that no, this new or upcoming technologies are not taking away jobs, they are creating one in the new segment of the research and application governance. So, with this machine learning, there are two fundamental types of machine learning: supervised and unsupervised. We'll talk about these while we proceed in our presentation today. So, supervised learning basically talks about the input which is given. Based on the multiple inputs, appropriate output is predicted, which is also known as predictive modeling, which works basically with mappings, A to B or input to output mappings overall. That's supervised learnings, where everything is structured. So when I say input or A to B mapping, which means that I need to educate, I need to learn, I need to train a machine. And what enables machine to work so well based on my training? Any guesses? So that's where data comes into the picture. It is very important that we create a correct data set or a structure which will help to train machines appropriately. You might have heard that there are algorithms, there are different types which can be customized. There is TensorFlow, there is regression algorithm, there is cluster, there are neural networks. All of these are different, definitely good and predefined algorithms which can be used for speech recognition, for image recognition, for automation, anything of that sort. But what is input to these algorithms? That's data. So ultimately, the idea starts with data, which is everywhere, which is growing tremendously, which is having different velocities, varieties, and volumes with which it is processed. Big data is one of the classical example, but there are many databases, and each data or each segment of data is governed with three V's: volume, variety, and velocity. Every engineering student working with this data will help or will has to analyze. Now there will be question from mechanical or electronical or civil engineers if they are part of the session, that how will I understand the data, how the system will work here. But it's very important for all of us to understand that every data has a domain intelligence, and that is needed. We'll come to that in upcoming slides. So with the data, we basically used to work and define different types of analytics, which is basically, as I said, domain intelligence. I have a data of an organization. Let me give you an example. I have a data of an organization. With the same data, a finance guy calculates the total taxes or total profit or total loss. And with the same data, a sales guy targets or analyzes the total sales, total revenue growth. So the perspective and domain changes. A finance guy has an intelligence in finance domain which will retrieve correct data for learning using domain intelligence. And for sales guy, it is sales intelligence. So every data with which we will do transformation in different insights will make better decisions overall with the help of analytics. These are a few business cases with which the analytics will work on various segments. It could be optimizing any part of applications which are there in the industry. So these analytics, which needs to have correct data set, which will be used by machines, algorithms to train and achieve AI, is divided into three important types: prescriptive, predictive, and descriptive analytics. Prescriptive is like, what should we do? It's similar to prescription which a doctor gives you by analyzing your health, your situation. Predictive, to predict based on what has happened or what data is gathered, what could happen. And descriptive is similar to postmortem, to understand what has happened. All of these will play a major role in data engineering structures. And to play with data, as we all know, data science is the field which is the most sexiest job in 21st century, as stated in HBR in 2015, again in 2017, and still in 2020 as well. So it's very important from everybody or every domain to understand what you need to do to expertise the job market overall. So as I said, when we talk about data science, it's not only computer engineering students or information technology students. It will require a lot of mathematics and it will require a lot of domain experience. A computer engineering student will be able to write a program. However, if you input incorrect data to that program, you will get incorrect results. And who will get you correct data? Your domain experience. It could be an experience in metallurgy. It could be an experience in healthcare. It could be an experience in electronics or sales for that matter, which will play a very important role in identifying correct learning practices for machines to learn and implement artificial intelligence overall. With the help of these, as I said, there are different algorithms starting from classification, which has list of all the algorithms, regression, which has another list of default algorithms, and clustering, which is again a different sort of algorithms. We'll not get into the details of these algorithms because it is more specific to programming the structures, but the importance of these algorithms is dependent on what do you input. And it's very important for all of us to understand and ask these 5 questions whenever we are planning to work or create an artificial intelligence based product or company. To basically understand, classifying your objective of training machine, is this A or B? We are classifying, we are changing it. Second question is this weird? Based on the data which is retrieved, what all could be analyzed is something which needs to be worked out with the second question. Third question is how much or how many of business products or sense does it make? Clustering helps you in organizing the information, and that's where fourth question comes in: how is this organized? And the fifth question is prediction: what should I do next? With these 5 questions being answered in various disciplines, which starts with machine learning, data science, deep learning, or neural networks, or supervised learning, or unsupervised learning, or reinforced learning. With these disciplines, now these disciplines are not limited, as I'm again reiterating, these disciplines are not only for computer and IT students. This work across the disciplines, verticals, branches which engineering has, because every branch represents an industry or sub industry. The important part here is to have correct framework of learning which is completely based on the data of every discipline. So what do you mean, or what does a company, how a company can be termed as an AI company? It could be strategic data acquisition, because as I said, data is very important, and governing it with data management systems like data warehousing, visualizations, analysis, or a new role such as machine learning engineer for production, machine learning engineer for sales, machine learning engineer for electronic innovations, and machine learning engineer for computer science for applications. We will have to think through these different verticals which play an important and major role when we talk about AI company. A classic example of artificial intelligence in mechanical industry is self-driving cars. Adjacent and acknowledging the self-driving car with electronics is different sensors and cameras, and recognizing the structure of physical movement in the on the roads in terms of traffic lights, police, construction work is the sensors segmentation by computer engineers. So it is very important to have good accuracy of every algorithm, every action we are taking. However, how would you derive a good accuracy? It would be majorly by correct inputs. Let me give you a classic and a very simple and basic example. You might have seen coffee machines somewhere on the airports, or colleges, or any in the cafeterias, or anywhere. A Nescafe, a CCD machine, or automated coffee machines would be, you might have seen, or if you not, you would be seeing that. Now these coffee machines have programmed way of taking milk powder, of taking coffee beans, sugar or not sugar, and then creating that coffee, or water, and then creating that coffee. Now, there are dedicated compartments for milk powder, for coffee bean, for water, which are three important ingredients, which by default means that we are inputting coffee powder, milk powder, or milk and coffee beans and water, right? What if my input is wrong? Instead of milk powder, let me put a powder for probably rasna. Instead of milk, let me put uh, some fruit juices. Will it give you coffee? Even though it's called as coffee machine, will it give you coffee? It will not, because inputs are wrong. And correct accuracy is completely dependent on different types of inputs you would be giving. Same applies to healthcare industry for diagnosing x-ray images automatically. You don't even need a doctor these days. For you need them you need them to prescribe you medicines, but however, for all the tests based on the sampling which is done, they can predict what has happened, or what is wrong, or what is right, and what is less, what is high within the results which comes in. And when we talk about these x-ray diagnosis, and that's where our electronics and telecommunication comes into the picture. So every industry is defined, is made as one product or one platform to work in artificial intelligence. Face recognition is one of an important feature of AI. And every product tries to do that with different neural network techniques. Let it be any identity overall. Every object, starting from eyebrows to skin to eyeballs to nose, is analyzed with the
Amit,
identity verticals in that particular algorithm. And then it works.
Amit,
Yep.
yeah, I think your presentation is not being visible. Can you please redo it or resume it?
Oh, okay. I hope I was audible.
Yeah, you were audible, but your presentation suddenly it gone blank. Yeah,
Okay.
now it's visible.
So face recognition, post that speech recognition, you are exploring that with Amazon Alexa, Google Home. All of these are predefined features which help machines to learn. Now, this is a classic example of a learning project for self-driving car. First and foremost task is collecting data. What is a car? What are different positions? What are different models? What is the design? How does it look? Has to be captured and then trained and iterated so that accuracy can be increased. So while defining and choosing a product, instead of asking question what AI can do, it's always recommended to understand and evaluate what is good for your business, which will come from domain experts like you. And then combine the knowledge of AI experts to build an innovative product. We also call it as brainstorming framework because while doing or while working with AI on a particular domain, it is very important for all of us to ask the structure of these calls, these tasks, these action items, whether it's an healthcare industry or a mechanical industry or a civil industry for that matter, anything. The main drivers is business value. What value are you making by applying AI in your domain and in your business? And that basically creates and defines a correct segment of different points in the values. Is it always necessary to have big data? It's not about big data, guys. Any type of data, any data platform is okay. But having more data is always good. It doesn't say that with small data sets you will not make progress. You will, but the accuracy which you might expect might not be there. Multiple data points will be good to start an AI strategy. The objective with which we need to define and work with these different segments starts with technical diligence and business diligence. Technology wise, AI is good, but the questions to ask are, can AI system meet desired performance? How much data is needed? What is the engineering timeline? Which goes parallelly with the business diligence. If we are talking about performance, does it also lower the costs? Does it also increase the revenue? Or it launches the new product or business overall? And by doing all this, the most important as a human is ethical diligence. Is this going to make society better? Is this going to make society dependent on factors? What are the changes which we need to think in terms of society overall? So while having the mindset of being an AI engineer, irrespective of your domain, it is very important to think on various pitfalls. Don't expect AI to solve everything. Let's be realistic. What AI can and cannot do with the limitations of technology and engineering resources. Work with machine learning engineers from the domain, from the civil background, from the mechanical background, depending on the industry where you're working, and pair that talent with computer science or functionally projectable projects. Plan the complete development overall to meet the correct KPIs. Don't think you need a superstar AI engineers before you can do anything. It is not new, guys. It is just being evolved because amount of data has increased phenomenally in past few years. There are certainly multiple limitations of AI, which talk about performance, which talk about human intervention, which talk about biased or wrong data, and which also talks about as well as adversarial attacks in the global platform. Considering all that, the impact of artificial intelligence on the correct job market is phenomenal. It is also termed as a steroid, which will disrupt the industry, but in a positive sense. This disruption needs upskilling or reskilling the structure of education which we have. By 2030, we will have 400 to 800 million jobs which will be displaced. But we will also have 555 to 890 million jobs which will be created on the new skill, new structure, new learning technology with the domain which is needed. So you will have to create and reskill and upskill yourself in the amenable automation segments. While preparing for different job interviews, you will also have to be industry ready, which talk about the market segments, which talk about how it is going to evolve. What is the industry doing in terms of automation? It can be from healthcare, it can be from science and engineering, it can be from construction, agricultural labor, garment manufacturing, personal services, sales, anything. All of these can be automated, but this automation certainly needs skilled labor, and that's missing, and that's something which will be created in the industry. We all budding engineers should be prepared to adapt to the changing environment, or I would say adapt to the changing engineering environment, which will make the learning and the industry more prone towards the complete segment of artificial intelligence, irrespective of your branches. Guys, I have said this statement multiple times, irrespective of your branches, because as I said, artificial intelligence is not related to one particular branch or industry. It is diversified 360 degrees in every aspect and every segmentation which is there to be allowed and learned in the industry segment. That's all from my side. Thank you very much for patiently listening. If you have any questions, please do ask. Okay, I have a question from Vishal Vispute. Which programming language is widely used in AI? So fundamentally, to start with, it can be a Python or R language to kick off with. However, when you move ahead uh, in the advanced stages, there are various data engineering frameworks which can be used. But to kick off or to start with, Python and R would be a good entry. Okay, I have a question from Pratik Thakre. Greetings for the day. Okay, currently there are very less openings in the field of AI and ML for freshers. How should we proceed to make our career in this field? Fantastic question, Pratik. That's a very valid point. To work in AI and ML, as I said, you will require a domain knowledge, industry, relevant information, and that will come only after experience. So if you're targeting AI and ML as your career, first start with getting into product or portfolios which will talk about programming in Python, R, or data engineering for that matter, or data analytics or business analytics, which will give you exposure in coming years if you work with it at least for 3 to 5 years to move and recommend something on this AI and ML platforms. Because industry knows a fresher cannot recommend or identify or drive the correct data, right? To know and to have that, you will need experience. You will need experience in whatever company you work with. So to enter, few of the practices will not be directly AI and ML, but it could be business intelligence, it could be data engineering, it could be visualization, it could be business analyst. All these kind of portfolios will help and lead your career in next 3 to 5 years in AI and ML. And it depends on you how you shape further on it. I hope I answer your question, Pratik. Next question I have from Om Joshi. What is the role of neural networks in artificial intelligence? Neural network is one of the algorithm, Om, which helps in defining or working in the functionality of AI, which we try to produce in image or in speech recognition or automation with chatbots in the industry overall. Thanks, Om. I have next question from Rajat Arora. Sir, I'm currently doing internship in data science and data analytics. I want to pursue career in AI. So how to get a job in good company? Rajat, as I rightly said, you will have, there are two choices when you plan to do research and work. It's good that you have taken up internship in data science and data analytics. That's fantastic that you got it. But good company or a good role or a profile is your choice. To start with, if your experience gets gained in good profile and good learnings, you will by default it will by default lead you to good company in coming years. In good companies or in book, see, every company is good for that matter, but if I talk about large system integrators, large companies, the opportunities would be less because there are a huge pool of people coming in. However, if you choose a role with a mediocre or a research based company, it will give you a lot of learning, which will directly jump you to a senior position in that good company in coming years. So choice is yours on how you can plan and further on that. I hope that answers your question, Rajat. Thank you. Tushar Kukreja, I have one question. For job interviews, how can you prepare? So it depends on what role. It's very important for you to understand what role are you preparing for and what kind of role are you applying for, and that will define the various segments. But in generally, if I have to give you an insight, depending on your background, your domain, your branch, it is good if you can have some industry relevant case studies which are implemented positively in AI in the industry, read and prepared with internals of it, which you can showcase in your interviews, which will certainly be a edge compared to the other competitors, other people in the applying for the same job. Thanks, Tushar, for asking that question. I hope I answered it well. Ansh Raina, sir, do you think in future we would be able to train a very good machine or just a handful of data? See, it is not Ansh, as I rightly said in As I rightly said in that session, it is very important for you to have correct and large data. It is not that with handful of data you cannot train machines, but accuracy would be low, and that makes majority of difference. Thanks, Ansh, for asking that question. That also a very valid and beautiful question. Rishikesh Zawar suggests some courses for reinforcement learning. Hmm. Uh, sure, Rishikesh, I'll do that. When we talk about reinforcement learning, you will have to be specific on the models or the industry which you need to target. Probably we can connect one-on-one or via Jasmeeta madam to get more discussion on reinforcement learning segments. Abhishek Ghadge has another question. What suggestions would you give to students who want to pursue careers in data science? It is again, I'll come back to the same recommendation. When it's a data science, it is very important for all of you, all of us, I would say, to understand the data correctly and what are the different mathematical uh, challenges which may come in. So data science, as I said, is a combination of computers, mathematician or statistician and domain expertise. Domain expertise will come only with the experience. So entry point which you have is either mathematics or computer programming. And with all data engineering platforms available, that will create your entry into managing and maintaining these part of data engineering segments. Okay, Trupti Wag is the next question. As an electronics engineer having interest in core domain, is there any connectivity available to the field of AI and ML? Of course, yes, Trupti. Well, every electronics these days. So the example which I gave of Alexa, see, it's an electronic. It's an electronic product, and AI is compiled or programmed on that particular product. So every as an electronics engineer, it is up to you on what is the limitation with which you want to apply an AI and ML in the product. It could be anything from a normal motor which is running to a circuit of a mobile phone or to a circuit of a TV, flat TVs in these scenarios. So electronics, mechanical, computer science, and IT are the most predominant, or I would say dominating fields where AI and ML can be applied. Next level comes with civil structure, which also is moving towards a lot of progress in automated machines. Again, but that is not without mechanical, electronics, or computer IT people. I hope that answers your question, Tripti. Thank you very much. Then we have Aditi Sinha. I want to pursue career in data science and analytics. How do I get started? I'm doing course on some same, but what are the basic industry requirements? So basic fundamental industry requirement to work on data science is first you understand the data well. Now, when we say understanding the data well, which means you need to know all the warehousing techniques, all the visualization techniques, and then the scientific part of that data algorithms which will be applied. So that's something which you need to explore going ahead in the data science segment. Thank you, Aditi, for asking that question. Vaibhav Murumkar is the next. Sir, please tell me somewhat about demand of AI in the market after years. I would say, Vaibhav, in next 2 decades, at least 20 years, there will be a lot of digital transformation applied with AI and ML techniques. Then we have questions from Jitendra Bansode. Hello, sir. I would like to know about the role of AI compared with machine learning and data analytics in core and hardware-based platform in next 10 years. when you say role of AI, as I was addressing earlier question with electronics, yes, every hardware industry, if the hardware term you are using is something which talks about electronics, then yes, it is by default handled. Every electronic or every hardware will require system programming and the data transformation. In next 10 years, I would say next 20 years, there's a huge scope. As you might have also heard that the Cisco networks have now moved to cloud with AI. AWS has come up with a lot of AI platforms. These all are tools which you can explore while learning AI with the hardware technologies, because most of it now is working with different cloud mechanics. Then we have next question from Saurabh Singh. As a mechanical engineering student, what are the steps to be followed to have a career in AI? I would say, Saurabh, explore more on the current implementation or current case studies of AI in mechanical engineering, which will give you a direction or a thought process which you can certainly think of on what industry to target to get a job in AI. Then we have next question from Vivek Salunke. Quantum computing is a buzzword nowadays. How is it going to affect data engineering and AI?
Dr. Amit,
Sorry. Yeah.
Dr. Amit, I would like to, intervene here. The question which was asked by the previous student.
Okay.
See, I'll be very as a faculty or as a placement head here.
Mhm.
Students are not, every student is not research oriented. So
Mhm.
basically, a case study for an engineering student, everybody will not understand maybe. So if you can help them with certain, I would say, online learning platforms wherein they can make their basic fundamentals, understand the basic fundamentals of these buzzwords, would also help them to understand this entire big data. So
Okay.
that's my humble question.
Sure, no problem, ma'am. So when mechanical engineering, when I say case study, which I didn't meant the research-oriented case study, but from the mechanical standpoint of view, what exactly is implemented in AI? Which kind of companies are adopting AI in mechanical segment? So if I have to give you an example, Ford Motors or Mercedes-Benz or Volkswagen plants in Pune have a lot of adoption of AI. So what have they adopted? That is something which you need to evolve, you need to explore. And then from the learning standpoint of view, you will have to certainly start with the fundamentals of artificial intelligence for mechanical engineers. And there are various platforms available digitally on this who can train you get started with the product. But as I was addressing this from the job perspective, I would recommend you to first identify, being a mechanical engineer, what if you have decided to go into artificial intelligence, then where all which all companies are adopting artificial intelligence. That is something which has to be identified, out of which we will further have a subcategory on what could be your target, and then the learning starts. And there are different learning platforms, maybe Coursera, or maybe machine learning, or be on Microsoft site or on AWS site. There are a lot of learning platforms available which will guide you to the different segments of machine learning. Quantum computing, next question about Vivek Salunke. Quantum computing is a buzzword nowadays. How is it going to affect data engineering, AI? It certainly will affect, Vivek. The reason being is the performance, because quantum computing basically addresses one problem, which is performance. And all the data in AI, based on the volume of data which is trained by a model, requires huge amount of computational power. And that computational power is available at quantum computing, or I would say quantum computing segments. And that's where it will help you in processing powers and performance. Pratik Thakre, sir, if possible, please plan a session on generative adversarial networks. Sure, Pratik. probably we can get in touch with Jasmita madam and see if we have a we can plan dedicated session in detail, deep dive on AI and different types of algorithms there, or probably your department segment.
Sir, done, sir. Done. You give us time. You आप अपना I think you're not well. So whenever when you're available, let us know. We'll plan this session.
Sure,
It's really nice that students are looking forward for such sessions.
sure.
Thank you.
Mayur Nagre, good afternoon, sir. Which platform are best for AI and ML training? And also, which books will give us good knowledge about AI and ML? That's a very tricky question, Mayur. See, learning, I would see there are plenty of platforms which are available because learning is not same for every individual. I may like book A, but you might not like the same book because adaptation of that book or that material is different for everybody. So, fundamentally, to kickstart and understand what AI is and how it should work and what are the different segments, as an entry level, I would not recommend you to invest a lot of money, but invest a lot of time and understand it in micro learning sites like probably Udemy or Google, Coursera or AWS or platform based AS. So if I have to give you, AWS SageMaker is a platform by AWS to implement all AI and ML components. Similarly, there is a platform by IBM called IBM Watson, which provides you different AI and IoT techniques. So try first get the fundamentals cleared by spending some more time and less money on what and platform it is to. Then next level you can plan and learn dedicated product based learning, which could be IBM or AWS or Microsoft or Google, and each of them have their own different platforms to learn and implement AI. I hope that answers my. Again, if that needs to be discussed more at length, you can connect with me one on one and we can do that. Saurabh, we say, how can we prepare for a subject that is different domain? As you mentioned that there is 360-degree scope in AI. Specifically, sir, I'm interested in molecular dynamics. Wow, fantastic. So, Saurabh, let me, or probably for all of you, um, molecular dynamics is a very fantastic subject, and it's something which we are working very closely these days. Me and my company are working with different laboratories in Asia to do molecular research or to enhance molecular research with the help of data science and AI platforms we have built or algorithms which we have built to identify a vaccine for COVID 19. We are the only company who are working with government to increase the processing time of identifying different structured into the molecules or based on viruses and the medicines. So it has tremendous because chemistry, chemical or molecular dynamics is the only industry where there is no automated performance management system. And with this, AI and data science related algorithms which we have created with SageMaker. SageMaker is AWS. We are using AWS platform. So with AWS SageMaker, if you remember when COVID-19 was initially identified, it used to take 2 to 5 days to get the reports, which has reduced to 4 hours and 2 hours now. And that all is because of what we have done and the amount of data what we have put into our machine learning and get output and categorize it that report. So how can we prepare for the subject? As I said, if you have a domain expertise in molecular dynamics, probably you will also have to learn different problem statements or different verticals where these molecular dynamics will work, or while you would like to apply or increase the performance on AI segments. If there is more which you could discuss on it, Saurabh, we can certainly connect, and you are free to connect with me, and we can have a discussion, detailed discussion on that. But I think yes, there is a lot of stuff which can be done in these areas as well. Irrespective, as I said, it is not related to computer and AI. They will certainly help. They are needed, but however, it is very important for a person to understand how molecular DNA works and what kind of DNA is what applicability. And that's something which will come only by experts like you, probably in molecular dynamics, where you can do a lot of research. I hope that answers your question, Saurabh. Then we have next question from Abhijit. Any suggestions as how to sentiment analysis of language other than English using AI model? Abhijit, Google has already done it. You can learn that algorithm. It has done in text, it has done in speech, it has done in video. Automated algorithms are available by default. You will have to consume those algorithms in your program. If you don't want to create your own, you consume a Google algorithm and implement that in your application, and that will help. Then, okay, I think I have last question, Abhishek Gadge. Which job can be considered as entry level job in data science? So, as I said, addressed this earlier also. When we talk about data science, entry level job would be majorly on the data engineering platform or BI platform, which will give you sufficient information on how the data is structured. Probably it could be a data warehousing administrator, data administrator, business analyst, report visualizer, visualization. All of these will are different components of complete framework of data science, and that will help. Okay, I have one more question. Saurabh says, sir, should I work on learning molecular dynamics parallelly with learning AML and AI? Saurabh, I cannot answer this because, okay, I don't know which year are you into. If you plan to, create, if you have time and you are planning to learn molecular dynamics, these two are two different techniques, two different products, or two different learning mechanisms altogether. So if there is no harm in learning it parallelly, but I would rather say, first, from my experience, first you get your domain sorted on what you would like to apply. So learn molecular dynamics and then move towards learning AI and ML, because AI and ML is a journey. I would not say anybody can be an expert by doing a course for a month or two, or a year or 2 year also. It's a learning journey for lifetime, and it changes every moment for every vertical and every domain, and that's where it is important. Thank you. You're welcome. All of you are absolutely welcome to ask any questions. So I think I have taken the last question. If there is anything, you can anyways anytime connect with Jasmeeta madam and or with me directly, and we can have a chat. If there is anything more to discuss, madam, please let me know.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Hitesh, sir, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you so much, Amit sir, for sparing your time. And I also personally thanks all the students to be the part of the session and shown their interest and enthusiasm in sharing the knowledge, in sharing their questions and resolving their queries. I also thanks all the faculty members also who was the part of the session. Along with, they were also asking some of the questions, and they were also helping the students to understand what exactly is into the market. And it was really interesting to know a lot more about AI and ML, which I personally was also not aware about. So it's a great insight from your end, sir. And on behalf of Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, we thank you from our bottom of my heart, and see you soon for such more sessions. So guys, we'll have a group photograph. Can I request all the participants to switch on their videos so that we can have a group photograph?
A virtual
Virtual
group
selfie.
photograph now. That's the
Virtual
new trend
selfie, which you can
post
say.
COVID.
Yeah, virtual selfie, which we can say. Abhishek, Sharon, Divya, Suyesh.
Amit sir, can we have you also? Amit sir, can we have you?
Yeah, you want to have me? It's very
Yes.
casual.
That's okay, sir.
Okay, hold on.
Rahul Pawar, sir, please switch on your video.
So as you all know, everybody is working from home these days.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just click the photograph now. Done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you so much, sir, for giving your insights and your knowledge sharing session with us.
Really, sir, it was a learning experience for all of us, and we are blessed to have you. Blessed to have you as a part of our family, our group. For me also, it was a learning experience. So thank you so very much. We look forward for many more such sessions. Thank you all.
Thank
the
you very much.
students.
I hope. Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Guys, if you want, you can leave, or if you want to have some questions from me, I'm ready. So no one wants to talk to me. Great.
No.